Mike, we're glad to have you here. Julie, the same.
Thank you.
Our official host today, and we are all indebted to Elsa Davila. She's not only our host today, she's going to be also our topic master.
Wow.
Yes.
Good.
If we are on time to begin, just let us know so we can proceed.
We're on time, Carlos.
Oh, Mike already visiting us. Hello, Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Well, nice to have you.
It's my great, let's begin with this. It's my great honor. It's a great privilege. The time has come right to begin this meeting, and I'm sure that having all the commitment, all the participation will move forward. Many lessons to be learned. Remember, Toastmasters is a do-it-yourself activity, and we are here to learn with one important ingredient. We're learning together and we're having fun. So let me declare this meeting officially open. I cannot forget that we're missing somebody that is very dear to us, Mr. James Plunkett. He should know that we miss him and he's still with us no matter what. We are not making a change. We're having a transition and a positive one. We welcome everyone, Ruben, Dagmara, Vikram, Paolo, and our dear Patricia. Patricia, you're one of the guilty ones here, and you will tell the story while I'm here presiding the meeting. And thank you all. So at this very moment, I'm going to move and call the person who's going to be in charge of this very important session. We call it the Toastmasters. Who hasn't heard about Machu Picchu? Well, Machu Picchu is a very beautiful place. It's a majestic place. And
Excuse me,
Machu
Carlos.
Picchu, go ahead.
Mr. Plunkett is coming in finally.
Well, in honor to Mr. Plunkett, to celebrate his presence, we will always move forward because that's
Yes.
the best legacy, right? As long as he is in, he's going to have his chance to continue the meeting. So this lady was born in Cusco, and then she came to live in Lima ever since. She had her dream. She wanted to become an engineer, but love set in. She fell in love with a very handsome boy. No question, she was very beautiful, and she still is. And then they formed a beautiful family. She became an accountant. Nobody knows why yet. And then now she has a family of her own, two independent engineers who are her sons, and she has also professionally developed into working for domestic and international companies in the area of finance. She was a general accountant, and she's the only member I recall that has been reelected for 4 consecutive terms. She's the money woman, the money lady. She's been reelected, and she's our truly new treasurer, reelected for the 4th consecutive term. Does it require a warm round of applause? I missed her name. Everybody should know Norca Muñoz. Norca, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your words. And well, you almost made me cry. Well, good afternoon, dear fellow Toastmaster. For me, really is a pleasure to be the Toastmaster in this session. On one hand, I am very excited for this honor. And on the other hand, I feel nervous for the same reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the first time I am doing this job through this amazing tool like Zoom. So, well, we will have an excellent session. 3 wonderful speakers, great speakers, and the sweetest topic table master for today. But to start, I would like to introduce the members who are playing important roles today. Please, I would like to invite our time timekeeper, please. Doris Romero.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My role today as a timekeeper is to keep the time for all of you, for all the speakers, to ensure that everyone speaker is within the allotted time lot. This will also help and ensure that the meeting will be on time. Yes, and what else? It is very necessary for all of us to keep the time that are allotted, for example, for the topic, for the speakers, for the evaluators. And if we are beginning with this tracking of time, we will finish on time. That is, thank you, Norca.
Thank you, Doris, our timekeeper. So now it's time to invite or to introduce our grammarian. In this opportunity, we have our dear past president, Mr. James Plunkett, in this duty. Please, Mr. James.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Well, today, I don't know, I am going to be very critical, so please watch your language. No swearing, no exaltations, just normal, good quality English. That way I can keep my paper clean and I won't have that many criticisms. So be careful. Besides, it's almost the 4th of July. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. Dear James. Well, it's time to, well, invite our counter, but I don't have his or her name.
I don't know.
I don't know. Who wants to be the counter? Well,
Right?
who said?
Yeah. That.
Soledad,
Okay.
you?
I need to practice this.
Okay. Okay, Soledad. So could you explain us what your role would be?
Yes. In my case, I'm going to check whatever you say, the whole speech of speakers and evaluators, and trying to find those unnecessary sounds or repeated words that we call filling words that we need to polish from our speeches if we want to be good communicators and leaders. So this is something we fail on, and we have to work on this. Just week after week, and I'm going to tell you if you say those sounds, you know, and just for you to be aware of what you say. And that's it. That's my work for today.
Thank you, Soledad. Thank you. So time to present, to introduce our general evaluator. He is really a distinguished guest from Excalibur Toastmaster Club, Mr. Andrew Bennett. Please, Andrew, could you explain your duty here?
Andrew Bennett.
Hello there, good evening, Toastmasters of Lima Toastmasters Club. I am delighted to be back with you. I've been looking forward to this meeting for a whole week, and I can feel that there's a lot of energy in the air. I am going to be evaluating all of those who have participant roles within this meeting. Please bear with me, the agenda I have does not have all the names of the evaluators on, but I shall capture those as you make your way through the meeting. I'll be back with my commendations. There are going to be a lot of commendations, I can feel that, and recommendations later on in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. So, as you can see, we have a great team to support this session. Well, it's time to listen to the minutes that we have our last session. So I would like to invite here our secretary to do the reading. Please, Doris, could you? Doris?
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
I am here.
Okay. Do you have the minutes?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
please. Could you read?
Okay. Today is my first day in the role of secretary. Yes, here is the report. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I'll give the summary of our last week minutes. Okay, the meeting was held last Thursday, June 25th. We started as usual at 12:30 and it was closed at 2:30 p.m. And as you know, the Toastmaster session is held with 50% plus one of our active members. You were witnesses, yes, that it was not necessary to count us. We were very glad to see not only permanent participants from our club, but participants who are coming back as Edmundo Alvarez, Ruben Garcia, Zach Ricra. Welcome to Lima Toastmasters 3098, and many international guests from Chile, Curacao, India, United States, Bahamas, Zimbabwe. Our session had 36 participants. Well, the first part of the session, our Toastmaster of the day was Elsa Davila, who led the session accurately. Our topic leader was Vikram Chandra from India, who introduced topics with visuals and questions in an alternative way. Our grammarian, James Plunkett, presented the word of the day, optimistic. Later, he gave the feedback on mistakes in pronunciation as speaker instead speaker, not a speaker, tourist, Catholic, experts, stressing the first syllable, and pandemic, second syllable stress, and not pandemia, as we could listen. Well, or other things as grammatical use, yes? For example, he recommended to use become DTM instead of earn DTM, or use better, can you hear me, instead of using the verb listen. Well, our observers, Norca Muñoz as accountant and Paolo Carranza as our timekeeper, did a very thorough job with their observations. In the second part, we had 3 speakers introduced by their evaluators. The first evaluator, Carlos Millones, introduced our first speaker, Alexandra Kugler, who talked about short and long-term goals. Next, the second evaluator, James Plunkett, introduced our second speaker, Doris Romero, who did her icebreaker. And the third evaluator, Ernesto Pai, introduced our third speaker, Toti Sasali, who talked about the first human being in the world. After speeches, each of the evaluators gave their generous feedback to their speakers. And closing the evaluation part of the session, John Navarro, the master evaluator of the session, did a general analysis of the session, giving the feedback to the positive tone of the meeting, to the organized job of the Toastmaster, the original way, job done by the topic leader, the good remarks given by the timekeeper, the accountant, and the grammarian. He also highlighted the attention the evaluators paid to the speeches and the speakers. Then the voting results of the participants were as follows. The best table topic of the day was Roxy and Albertina from Curacao. The best speaker of the day was Doris Romero, yours truly. And the best evaluator of the day was Carlos Millones. In general, we had a very interesting and productive session. As it was the last session of the former board, during the session, Carlos Millones and Ernesto Pai presented to James Plunkett, as president of the Living Committee, on behalf of the club members, our gratitude for the achievements of the club during this period. As a Toastmaster club, we were able to win the President Distinguished Award for the 3rd time. Mr. Plunkett, now our former president, closed the meeting underlining its outstanding job. Here, I share the main points of the minutes of the last week, and now I move to be accepted as true and accurate records. Yep.
Is there?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any
Thank you, Doris.
corrections, any amendments, any objections to the minutes? Having none, so the minutes are accepted as read.
Okay, thank you.
I think I would like to comment that this is the first time I hear proper minutes in the Lima Toastmaster Club after a long time.
Mr. Faye, I do agree with you, but I would suggest that you have missed many meetings, so that's why probably you haven't heard those ones. But we always
No,
have them.
I'm just making sure that Mr. Plunkett is hearing, but he's not saying anything. I don't know.
Okay,
Okay,
I
well,
am his lawyer. Ernesto, I am his lawyer.
okay, well,
okay,
And
guys.
me too. I'm his
Norca?
lawyer, and I will defend him dearly.
Yes.
okay.
Okay, guys.
Well,
Okay.
Norca, I
Okay.
have some more information to share.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, thank you. So,
Well.
following with this, thank you, Doris, for the reading of the minutes. So,
Yes.
following with the session, it's time to know more about how our club runs. So, it's time to do our business session. For this point, I'm going to call Carlos Millones, our president of the club right now. Please, Carlos, could you?
I'm so glad to work with a wonderful group of people. I've been selected carefully, and each one of you is part of this. So I'm going to start by calling and asking every chair what he or she is doing for the club. Because here we are, guys, to serve. Here we are to help the club improve. That is our mission. And that's what we take seriously and deeply. So I'm going to call our Educational Vice President, Mr. Ciro Bendesu.
Fellow Toastmasters, it's my honor to preside the Education Vice Presidency. As Vice President, my main goal will be to promote and encourage all members of our club to follow the Toastmaster education system pathways. That will be my main goal. I have to report that we have an ongoing conversation with the India Toastmaster Club, Bikram Toastmaster Club. We are on the process of developing and joint meeting in a near future. So we are in that process right now. Also, we are in the process of conversation with Rotary Club to start another Toastmaster Club, and we're still in that process also. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Ciro. We are sure that we have many plans, we have many projects, not only to grow inside, but to comply with the international standards, to open up, to reach out, to help. So now we have our next officer from public relationships. So she has formed a committee, and please help me welcome Ms. Alexandra Kugler.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. President. It is very nice to assume this PR challenge in Lima, Peru, and for our guests in the General Toastmaster Pathways Challenge. I agree that we need to make the welcome every day. And I love the way we are challenging the whole club, because if we remember, 96 years ago, Toastmaster was having the challenge with the Young Men Christian Association. And that's when Ralph Smedley created Toastmaster to help young people to communicate. They came back from very nice trips around the world and didn't know how to share their experience. And suddenly he created a way of sharing this experience with short statements. That's how Toastmaster grows. And these days we have been invited by Rotary Club to join their board transfers, and they have named a new group. So we will, Mr. President, we will renew the contract with Rotary, and I'm sure that Toastmaster and Rotary will have the same experience that our members had in 1924. This is a very important moment for global communication, and Toastmaster has shown to be one of the best schools for friendly ways of sharing information. And I would like to thank Soledad. Soledad has shown me, is the first member of our PR committee in Lima, and she has already shown us how this is going to happen, because this year, dear fellow Toastmasters, we celebrate 60 years in Lima, 60 years of the foundation of the club, and we will have to thank everybody for all the things they've done. For 60 years, we are here, and this is wonderful. So, and then I would like to remember everybody that in 4 years, Toastmaster International will celebrate 100 years, 100 years of creation. So welcome everybody, and please call me if somebody wants to join the PR committee, because we need a lot of teamwork. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Let's move on with our membership vice president, our dear David Navarro. David, are you around? He might be still on the flight. He works in the mine, and he was on his flight to Lima. Let's call then our dear person who works in the finance of the club. Maybe he has some reports to us. Our dear Norca Munoz, our treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, as Carlos said, the treasury, not the 4th time, the three times as a treasurer of the club.
So I'm a futurist, everybody knows it.
Yeah, my duties as a treasurer, of course, is to make payments the club needs to do in order to operate everything in our club. So the other thing that I do, my responsibility is to keep the money safe, because as you know, the money is money. So we need that money to invest in some things that obviously the club needs every time, like projector, camera, and something like that. As I know, and as I have to pay to Toastmasters International, obviously, I really know what does reinstate new members and dual members mean. So in that case, I would like to maybe to welcome some new members that we have today. As a new member, I can see here, for example, we have Maria Alejandra Salazar. She is really a new member in our club in this period. As she is, we have reinstated members. Reinstated is a member who used to be a Toastmaster, but I don't know, 1, 2, or 3 years ago. And then they decided to return to our club. So in that place, we have names like Alexandra, our VPR. We have Ruben Garcia, another member too, here as I can see. And then we have dual members. So dual members is really nice to have those kind of members in our club. Dual member is a member who belongs not only in our Lima Toastmaster Club, they came or they come from another parts of the world. And here we have, since July the 1st, we have a Dagmara. She's coming from UK. So we have these three kinds of members in our club. So welcome to everybody. And that's it. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you. I know that I said that our treasurer was the 4th time re-elected. Well, I always go ahead. I always anticipate myself. Sorry for that mistake. So let's go on now, our dear Sergeant at Arms. Have you seen, as you have seen, it's a very important position. She's the face of the club. She's the host all the time. And nobody else than Elsa Davila.
Wait, yeah. Thank you, President. Really, it's an honor for me to be part of the board of Toastmaster Club 3098 as in the role of Sergeant of Arms. It is the greatest challenge I'm going to have with technology because I'm going to be in charge of organizing the meetings with Zoom. And I have a lot to learn. And I know that if we work always as a family, we help each other, we learn from each other. And if we make a mistake, nothing's going to happen. Because we are learning, and I really want to do my best. I really want to learn as much as I can. And of course, I have to give you a warmest welcome so we all can feel as a family and happy to be participants in these meetings. Thank you for trusting on us.
Thank you, Elsa. One of the biggest fears is stage fright fear, right? So we are all scared about being here for the very first time. Nothing to be worried about. We are learning, but most importantly, we are learning together. And at this very moment, I'm not going to call a guest. I'm going to call somebody who is probably honorary to us because he represents one of the pillars of this organization. No matter how old the organization is, we will keep fresh, we will keep new, and we'll all keep all the time like challenging and taking everything in because we deserve it. Mr. Plunkett is going to give us some words on the 4th of July, Independence Day, because I think he embodies some part of it. Mr. Plunkett, here we are.
Thank you very much, Carlos, and good afternoon, especially to all our guests that are visiting us, some of you for the first time. But it's a very special day today. Yesterday was the 1st of July, and the Canadians celebrated their Canadian Day. And the 4th of July, 2 days from now, we will be celebrating the independence of the United States, which took place. Actually, they were ready to sign on the 2nd of July. That's today. But something happened. There was a delay. Perhaps the fireworks didn't show up in time or something, but they officialized it on the 4th of July. And we gained our independence from Great Britain. Of course, the Brits continued to fight and they headed south, and they were finally defeated. They saw the writing on the wall and they decided to go home. So we established our 13 colonies in the United States, and they grew in over 27 years. They continued to grow, and for many more years than that, actually. I was going to say there'd been 27 changes in the U.S. flag. So that's quite a while. But anyhow, since 1776, the 13 colonies have grown to 50 states. The last 2 states, more recently in 1949, Alaska, and then Hawaii. So it's been a long road, but it's been a very useful and very successful road. but there are always things in the way, and all of you have been observing them. And this has not been the most successful year for the United States, with all these internal revolutions taking place and interruptions and wanting to tear down the police force, etc., and statues. I mean, you know, who are some of our great heroes? George Washington, and now they want to pull his statue down, and Abraham Lincoln. I mean, come on. Of course, you have to take into consider slavery, because that was the thing at the time. When they came over, the colonists came over to establish themselves in the United States, they naturally brought slaves with them, because that was the trend in those days. Some of them treated the slaves very well, perhaps others abused them, but it's all part of history. And despite the fact there are many things that still have to be accomplished as far as racial equality is concerned, they've come a long way. They become also, the United States, one of the leading countries in the world and admired by everybody. But there are naturally internal conflicts. Those have to be overcome. And this year is a very difficult year, as I said before. And in addition to the internal problems of racial equality, we also have to face the COVID-19 epidemic, which has also contributed to many, many difficult periods in the United States. But in general, we're still out there celebrating. We're determined to overcome these difficult issues that have arisen, and we are going to celebrate our 4th of July in the best way possible, despite the fact that we will not be able to perhaps carry out marches that are very traditional. But we all welcome you to celebrate the 4th of July with us, and thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you, Mr. Plunkett. It's always so glad to hear you. We all see today, we have people, guests, and I know many of you, yet I'd like to allow you to have the chance to introduce yourself. Here we have, I see Steve Davis. Steve, you sound familiar to us. Can you share who you are, what you do?
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you so much for inviting me to your meeting. And in fact, we just met last night. And I'm so grateful to Soledad for inviting you and James and also Ruben. We had 4 guests from your club at our club last night. Mike Ard is the incoming president of our club, and I am the incoming vice president of education of Sherwood Town Criers Club, which is located in Sherwood, Oregon, United States of America. And I just am very impressed with how professional your meeting is. It's done very well in the very best traditions of Toastmasters International. I've attended many club meetings from online clubs around the world for years, including in Beijing, China, and other countries. And I'm very impressed with what you're doing here. I've also got just a quick announcement that I just found out. I'm so excited. It's been 5 years since I've been a member of Toastmasters, and I just achieved my DTM this morning. So kind of excited about that. So back to you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Then close to Steve, we have Mike. Mike Art is having a challenge before him. Mike, would you?
Thank you, Carlos. I'm also a member of the Sherwood Toastmasters Club that Steve is a participant in. And Steve joined us about a year ago as a club coach with a specific focus on trying to get our club to distinguished status. And I'd also like to add that we did manage to achieve President's distinguished status this year, despite the difficulties of the COVID-19 crisis, and applaud your club as well for having done that for, it sounds like, several years in a row. Very well done. I'm impressed, and thank you for having me at your meeting.
You're welcome. We're glad to have you here. Ivan Claudette, am I right? Am I pronouncing it right? Ivan, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yes, you did pronounce it Ivan Claudette or Ivan Claudette. I'm I'm Peruvian. I was born from Trujillo, which is north of Lima. I've been living in England for quite a while now, so I am a former member of Toastmasters International, and I went to a club that Dagmara used to go to. So that's where I've met Dagmara, and she reached me and a few weeks ago and made me aware of these meetings. And I thought, you know, why not? I think curiosity got the better of me, and I thought, well, I've got to check out what this Zoom Toastmasters meetings are all about. So here I am.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Most welcome. And then
Thank
we
you.
have here Tania Enchante. Tania, could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tania, and today I'm here. I couldn't be here in all the meetings, but now I can see that there are more people, and I think that that's good because due to technology, now we have more people and we can learn. I hope to be here in your next meetings and to learn from you. Thanks.
Oh, welcome, welcome, Tania. We're all, Tania is a little shy. Let me share with you that if you do remember, there was a speechcraft program last year, and there was a group of graduates, and they decided to open their own club. And 1398 is the sponsor of this club. So we have assigned members, and they are in the process of training, preparing themselves because they want to do things right from the very inception, from the very beginning. So they are having some training on the bylaws, trying to do things even better. And I think we are very good, we're having very good transition with them. We are going to share. Thank you, Tania. Then we have Mario Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Hope you can hear me well. It's okay? Awesome.
It's okay.
Okay, well, I'm studying education in Peru. I'm really thrilled to see you all here because this quality of meetings to practice English are unique. I love the organization, how the activities are, and that they are very engaging. And I can learn, I can see last meeting, I could hear some of you showing so many, how can I say, so many skills, such as when ladies were telling stories, they used, it was kind of drama, or they could dramatize the stories they were telling to us, and that's amazing. I would, yeah, I would like to learn that, and I would love to be a member in the future. I wanna thank Tania because she invited me to join this meeting. And I'm doing my best to get better at this, at the speaking, to improve my English speaking skills.
Be most welcome. Be most welcome. Thank you for coming. We're all here. Now we have, I read like Macintosh. I apologize myself if I didn't pronounce it properly.
Hold up, I'm on mute. Very good. You did pronounce it right, Carlos Miñones. You did. Thanks. Hello, everybody. Hola. I am Andrew. I come from the U.S. I live in the U.S. I'm with the Talking Mocks, our collegiate Toastmasters club that's been around for about 30-ish years. I'm a student. I am the president of that club and the vice president of public relations. So this year we're going to lead our club to success. So it's going to be great. And I've been traveling around the world via Zoom, going to Toastmasters meetings. So that's been a real treat. So it's good to be back in Lima.
Thank you. We are sure that you will get into it. Last but not least, Julie. Julie Parker is with us here. Would you introduce yourself, Julie?
Good evening. My name's Julie, and I'm in Manchester in the UK. Andrew Bennett, who is your general moderator tonight, is my very good friend. In fact, we met many years ago when we studied at music college together. We're both singers, and we're lifelong friends now. He's like my brother, and Andrew told me a lot about Toastmasters and has encouraged me to sit in on some meetings. So I think I saw you, Carlos, in Excalibur a couple of weeks ago. And I'm hoping that when there is a place that I might be able to join Berkeley Square, now that people are doing it by Zoom, so that's good. So Andrew thought it would be really good for me to see Toastmasters meeting in a different continent. So I thought that was really nice. And thank you for letting me take part tonight.
Thanks to you, Julie. I'm afraid I'm taking too much time of the Toastmaster, but Madame Toastmasters, the floor is yours again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, we have really a wonderful agenda for today. Now I would like to present to all of you this part of the session because it has many emotion in it. Why? Because of the person who is going to run this part and because of the people or the members that are going to participate. So for me, it's really an honor to present you the sweetest person in our club. It's a woman who makes her passion a job, or maybe she makes her job a passion. Everything in her is sweet. Her hands, her smile, her voice. Please welcome Elsa Dávila. And we also know her as Los Dulces de Elsa. Please, Elsa, she is going to be our table topic master. Your microphone, Elsa. Elsa, your microphone.
Okay. Thank you, Norca, for your wonderful words. You made me feel very special. Thank you. Okay, today I'm happy to be the topic table master, and this is the part of the meeting in which we are going to practice impromptu speaking. I'm going to call you at random, and you have to answer in 1 or 2 minutes for unexpected questions. So we're going to begin right now. I want everybody to become a seller. I'm going to call you and I'm going to present you an object, and you have to tell us the benefits of that object so you can sell many of them, okay? So here we are going to start with the first one. Here we have a little recorder. It says a little one, a recorder. Yeah, and I want to call, well, let me see. Ruben?
Yes.
Ruben, here is a micro recorder. What can you tell us about this one so you can sell a lot of them?
Okay. We are always amazed with things that are very useful for us. How many times we have said many things and we do not remember exact words. And we start saying, why didn't I record my words? But I didn't have anything, any gadget to do it. So that's why I think about that recorder, which is very special. And I do remember when I used to be an English student, I really wanted to project my voice while speaking English. And I wanted to know how people listen to me, because somebody told me that the real voice that are listened from you is the one that you record and you listen to it. So, and I really tried, and it was marvelous. It was a good, and it was a really strange voice that I could hear from me. But the people around told me, that's yours. Believe it or not, it's your voice. And I rapidly can tell you the first time that my dad bought a recorder, a very old one with the cassettes, you remember? And we tried it at home. The family all around started recording. Okay, now you talk, now you speak, you say something. And then we started listening to it, and we were all surprised. Our faces were, wow, is that your voice? And everybody says, is that is your voice? Oh, what terrible voice I have, but that's yours. So you have to train your voice to know how people listen to you.
Thank you. The same time, something, I had the same experience with the recorder too, with my voice. When I heard it, it was so different. I was so surprised. Thank you.
Elsa, excuse me, I forgot to indicate the word of the day is
yes.
independence. Independence.
Independence. Okay. Thank you, James. So we're going to try to use this word in our answers. Now I would like to call, let me see, Dagmara. I would like you to talk about Dagmara.
Okay.
I would like to talk about this, the mouth cap.
Face mask.
Face mask, okay. What are you going to tell us about this?
Fellow Toastmasters, the time is to protect yourself. It's COVID-19 time, and we need to protect our families, our neighbors, and our sanity as well. And face mask is the way not only to protect yourself from any possible catch of the virus, but I find there are some other brilliant ways we can use those face masks for. We could hide from people that we possibly don't want to meet in the local supermarket. They may not be the ones that we want to have a chat with. And it's a brilliant way to hide behind the mask. Or if you have a little kitten, it's a brilliant way to create a way for the kitten to rest while you're putting your makeup on or having a chat on the Zoom. The face mask is now in fashion, and it doesn't have to be blank and boring. You can paint it, you can get some signatures from and autographs from people you know. You can match it to your top or dress in the same color. You can feel for a moment like you are a Zorro, the warrior who's ready to go out there and face the reality with courage and passion. So fellow Toastmasters, don't fear the face mask, embrace it, be independent, because it's now time to really go forward and do what's right to protect yourself, but have fun whenever possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dagmara. I would like to call now to John Navarro, and he's going to talk about the credit card.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters. These are hard times. These are times in which we have to take all our precautions in everything that we do. A face mask, ladies and gentlemen, is not enough. We need more than that. We need to be very careful when we do our financial operations. Don't carry cash anymore. That's a problem. Liberate yourself from this. Be independent of this. Met coins and bills. A credit card, ladies and gentlemen, a credit card. You put it in your pocket, you put it in your wallet, you walk around, you do what you gotta do, you don't touch anything with your fingers other than your credit card. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, John, isn't it expensive to have a credit card? Isn't it you have to pay for the monthly or yearly membership and stuff, if you do the math, what you get, how easy operations are made, how secure it is for you, and how comfortable you're going to be, these by far, the benefits by far outweigh the negatives. Ladies and gentlemen, a credit card, do it today. Madam Topic Leader, thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to call to Ernesto. Ernesto, here is the sunglasses. Are you here, Ernesto? Ernesto Pai, are you here? No.
Yes, I am here.
Here?
I'm
Okay.
here.
Here.
I'm here.
You have to sell these sunglasses.
Those sunglasses, you know, match perfectly with the protection that we use for the nose, because with those sunglasses and the cover, you can go totally anonymous. Nobody will recognize you. You know, some people here, you know, should use them as a part of the because they are so popular and they have so many people coming to visit them, to greet them, to be near them. Because, you know, with this social distancing, you cannot expect people to get close to you. So if you want to people just don't notice you, if you are a popular person, use those sunglasses. Nobody will recognize you. Nobody. Not even if you're using a mask or hiding. You just need those sunglasses. That will make you invisible.
Great, thank you, Ernesto. Now I would like to call to Patricia. Patricia, I'm going to show you this balance.
Oh my goodness. I hope that is nothing personal.
No.
Well, what can I tell you about a balance? I have one in my bathroom, and every morning I weigh myself.
Really?
Every morning. And I'm always scared because I really don't understand why the fluctuation is humongous. You know, some days I'm like down, some days I'm up. So it's like a love and hate affair with the balance, and also with the weight. And so, you know, sometimes I try to be more, don't to get too obsessed, and I just walk past and I don't look at that. But it's like a force that calls me to make sure how I'm doing, and most in this pandemic, you know, that the refrigerator and the kitchen has this power, and it doesn't give us independence. You know, you always feel going to the kitchen to eat something nice, and then I go and I pass through the balance, and I said, oh, maybe I can check. So it's a love and hate affair. And well, I have a one with that you have to put batteries. It's kind of digital. So sometimes I pick it up, I shake it, and I say, maybe it's broken. And I rearrange the battery because that's not normal. And I go back, and so, you know, it's a love and hate affair. And it's a basic tool of daily torture. So it doesn't give me any independence. So I think it's important to be informed and to take care of yourself. So as I said, it's a love and hate affair with my balance. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. I agree with you. It's a torture. Now, I would like to call to Bikram. Bikram, are you there?
Yes, I'm there, yeah. Yes.
Here, I'm going to show these. I think at rattles, for babies?
Baby. Oh, I am a small baby, a male child, 5 years old. I love those toys. The toys bring happiness to my eyes. The toys make me cry. Mom and dad, do not take the toys away from me. I want them. I want hundreds of them in different colors and shapes and sizes. For me, toys are everything. Without toys, mommy, I can't live. I want to play with my toys. I want to play. I wanted to get me toys like giraffe, lion, tiger, and the snake boards and everything, mommy. Daddy, you bring me chocolates and ice creams. I also want toys in the form of chocolates, ice creams, pizzas, lemonades, and lemons. Mommy, my younger brother, who's just 3 years old, just born baby, even likes toys. So me and my brother would like to play with the toys and never go to school. I don't like schools. I don't like to study. I want toys, a toy house, so that my life become better and happier. So toys are the way of my life. I want to share those toys with my friends in the colony, in my school. So I want to play with them. I want to be like a toy boy, the toy boy of the jungle, the toy boy of the colony. Madam, my mom, my dad, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart because I am a toy boy. So friends, ladies and gentlemen, you have to encourage your children, your kids to purchase toys because toys bring happiness, joy, cheer to the eyes of the children. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Bertram. I'm really going to send you this to India. Now I would like to call Ivan Claudette. Ivan?
See, yeah.
Here is a tablet.
All right.
A tablet.
Yeah. Thank you, Elsa. Toastmasters, friends. Well, we've heard a few gadgets presented before you and appealing to your better nature. And so we saw masks to try and disguise ourselves and shake off unwanted friends. And we contemplated credit cards to try and buy ourselves out of a city or a town and leave people behind. And sunglasses to disguise ourselves. But the gadget that was more interested is the micro recorder. However, this tablet, it's got 101 different functions. It can record your audio as you type. You can present lovely games, attractive games for your children so that they can play and entertain themselves and bring happiness to their eyes with this wonderful kid-friendly games. And in these difficult times, we all need a little bit of distraction, don't we? So we can escape from perhaps raw reality and start watching Netflix or whatever, a documentary or whatever you like. So a tablet, my friends, is a window to another world, or perhaps a window back to the reality that you wanted to get back to, but you just didn't know you were in. Thank you.
Thank you, Van. Thank you. Now I would like to call to Mike. Mike Art. Mike?
Yes.
Hello, Mike. Here we have a control remote.
The remote control represents a fantastic change from my childhood. I remember watching the TV with my family as a kid, and the TV was a huge console built in wood with speakers built into the sides. It was an object so heavy I couldn't imagine moving it. And anytime we wanted to change the program that was on the TV, we got up and moved to the television set itself, twisted one of the dials, and oftentimes had to adjust one to UHF and then adjust a second dial and adjust the volume. mess with the picture to try to get it dialed in correctly because it was being received over the air. And hopefully we would get something resembling a picture out of it. The modern television is so much different than what I experienced as a child, where the pictures were iffy and staticky previously. We now have high definition, we have clarity. And that remote represents the convenience of not having to move from your position. In many ways, I think that it's progress. And in many ways, I think that it's the opposite, because it promotes the idea of a sedentary lifestyle where things should come to me rather than me going to them. And there's a part of me that yearns for that childhood experience of having to work harder for the things that we want, of taking the stairs rather than the escalator or the elevator, of earning the benefits and enjoyment of entertainment, of happiness, of camaraderie. And as we live in this COVID-19 world now, it occurs to me that the efforts that we make pay back so much. So as much as there is a convenience to the remote control, it's a symbol. And that symbol represents freedom, but it comes at a cost. And remember always that effort pays off, that the more you put into something, the more you get out of it. And I think that's true in everything in life. Madam Toastmaster.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you.
Dear Madam Table Topic Master, the time is over, sorry.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Elsa, for your part of in this session. It was really amazing. Thank you. So, yeah, as we are ending this topic table, I would like to invite Alejandra, who is in charge of our evaluation of this part. Alejandra, please. Alexandra, sorry.
Yes, this time Toastmasters has introduced the evaluation for topic session. It's interesting, and it's like catching people, random, unexpected speakers that have to face this few seconds to say something interesting. The impromptu speech is hard to be creative in such a short term. No. So I was finding out a way of evaluating because there is no real resource in the system. And I would love to tell you that I did one per people. So Ruben was verbally very skilled, very aware, and his gestures were very motivating. So he probably will sell recorders. And the recommendation is to study the eye contact with his camera. And Dagmara was also very motivating, but humorous, creative, and she used the word of the day. And maybe some vocal variety would help Tamara to have a complete impromptu speech in other tones. So it's the short term. John Navarro, he had a very good vocabulary and gestures, and he should be a seller. Ernesto Pai was very aware of his humorous talents and skills to motivate. So Sunglasses, we're happy to have him as a promoter, marketer. Patricia attracted the audience very well with her verbal knowledge, and maybe some vocabulary was missing, but she almost made 75% of eye contact, so it's just some details to make it more centered. I myself, I'm learning how to center with the camera. We are all Zoom students. And Vikram was very emotional. He had like theatrical, histrionical ability. He shared experience with us. So baby toys will be coming to India, I guess. I heard Elsa talking about not alfajores, but baby toys and rattles. And Ivan Claudette was from very creative and very good vocabulary too, and his gestures, but he never managed to make the real eye contact with the audience. And indeed, it was a very good impromptu speech. I think it's his tablet. And then Mike, he had a stupendous, very good vocal variety, entertaining, and the structure was very good. He had to talk about a remote control, but he forgot the word of the day. So instead of using independence, he said freedom. So that it was a wonderful topic session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Alexandra, and thank you, Elsa. You did really a great job because you show things that motivate people to talk about them, and really great job. So we are entered to another part of this meeting, the time of our speakers. As I said before, we have today 3 great speakers. To know more about them, who they are, and what the speaker are going to be about, I'm going to invite the evaluators for each one. So the first one is Mr. James Blanket. So Mr. James, please, could you introduce the first speaker? Your microphone, please.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Well, this is not the first time that I have had the opportunity and the pleasure of evaluating this speaker. She's a relatively new member to our club, but in the short time she's been here, she's been extremely enthusiastic. She always raises her hand when we need a volunteer, and I really appreciate all the enthusiasm that she's had for our club. Alejandra Salazar is going to give a speech today on evaluation and feedback. First speech from the Pathways program, and the time is between 5 and 7 minutes. And the title is quite interesting. Women's fight only, or men too? With you, Alejandra Salazar.
Thank you, Jim. Well, phrases such as, don't wear that, you're so bossy, go and play with Barbies, go play at the kitchen, all phrases to women. Talking about feminism is not complicated, but it's a little bit confused because this fight is also for men. In fact, feminism by definition is the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. In 1955, women were allowed to vote in Peru, but surprisingly, last year, women granted the right to drive in Saudi Arabia. Confused, right? Why women have to earn the right to drive? Something so normal nowadays. Well, for women, everything is 100% harder than for men. And I'm 21, and I can say I have suffered these consequences of an inequality society. I've never been raped, I've never been punished by a man, but I can tell you a lot of stories when I have suffered sexual harassment. I can say that almost every woman has suffered some kind of violence. The World Health Organization has indicated that 1 in 3 women has experienced either physical or sexual violence. And I can tell that men have no idea how that feels, because especially in this country where machismo is so deep in the culture. Probably, I can tell you around 10 stories or more when I feel violated by a man. by that look in their eyes when you can saw how they saw you as some kind of animal, that they want you to know that they want you. But I want to tell you a story that get me in shock when I realized. When I was in primary, I wore these tight shorts for sport. They were part of the uniform. And 1 year to other, they changed into a short combined to a skirt. You know, not too tight. Well, I didn't see anything back then because I really liked the new shorts. But some years later, I found out why they do this. There were some new men professors, and they want to take care of us. They want to protect us. I remember finding out about this and being so outraged that I cannot imagine how a school can do that, because I never thought how them could do that to us. So you're going to wear more clothes, more lady clothes, because we want to protect you. I think we all know how this society works. When women get paid less for the exact same job, when a woman cannot get a job because they're going to be pregnant one day, and probably you're going to be a waste of time. When discrimination of women, of the LGBTQ plus community, or people from different religions or ethnics are discriminated. Not only on a daily basis, but we also see this in TV shows. For example, in comedy shows, people laugh at it. I will never understand why they enjoy that. I never like them, because this is not a joke. This is real life. And some people get hurt because of these sayings. Some people get bullied in school because they're less men, or because they are too bossy, or because you are gay, because you're wearing ladies' clothes, or you're wearing ladies' color in your clothes. And maybe you can tell me I don't discriminate. But I want to ask you this. Do you let your others discriminate around you? Do you let your family, friends, or partner discriminate? Because if you're letting them to do that, then you're discriminating, and because you're being an accomplice in their sayings. This is the first solution. You don't endorse this stuff, and you don't let others endorse this stuff. Because if you're doing that, you're allowing this to continue. Second, and I think this is the key to be successful in this fight, is that men should be included too. Because if men don't need to be strong to be considered men, well, women don't need to be bossy. If men can wear any kind of clothes or any color of clothes, then women can wear whatever they want and don't be called a bitch because of it. And don't get me wrong, we don't want men to be hated. We want to be equal to men. We want the same treatments, the same right, and the same treatment, especially on daily basis. Finally, and the last solution I propose. Nowadays, we all have this social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, all these social media in which we can share our views and reflections. Why don't use it in the right way, in a positive way? But not only social media. Why don't doing meetings with friends and family? We can start a discussion where different points of view can be seen, and maybe something good could come out of it. And finally, to conclude, I want to end this with a phrase that Emma Watson said a few years ago on the United Nations, when she actually was asking men to help them in the fight. If not me, who? And if not now, when? Big changes can be made of little things. And if we start from ourselves in community, maybe we can start a big one.
Thank you, Alejandra. It was a controversial topic. Well, we have to think about it because it could be a cultural issue. Who knows? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Alexander. So I'm going to invite now Paolo. He's going to introduce the second speaker. Please, Paolo Carranza.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am, Toastmaster. Well, today we have a speech. Well, the second speaker will be Ciro Bendesu. He's working on the second speech titled Pathways. And Now, the purpose of this speech is to incorporate some elements of a previous feedback and to apply that feedback for this speech. He would choose any topic. In this case, the topic would be pathways, and he will speak from 5 to 7 minutes. Please help me welcome Ciro Bendesu.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Why we are here? It is because we have a free time that we need to fill up, or is it because we want to become a better speakers, a better leaders, and a better person? I am sure it's the second. To achieve our goals, Toastmasters has designed pathways. Let's see what is pathways. I'm going to share my screen, please. Okay. This is Toastmaster.org is the website of Toastmaster International. So anybody can access the main site of web of Toastmaster International, like you see right now on your screen. But if you want to use pathways, you need to be member of Toastmasters. If you are not member of Toastmasters yet, you need to contact our club and ask for your membership, and you will receive your password so you can have access to pathways. Once you receive your password, in this login screen, you will enter your email and your password, and you will be logged in to the Toastmaster website. Like you see here, I'm here logged in Toastmaster website. Now, we're gonna use the button called Pathways. When we go to Pathways, we will see a list of options. The very first option that we need to use is choose a path. What is a path? Toastmaster is like university. University offers to their students different careers. In the same way, Toastmaster offers to their members what they call paths. Let's talk about paths. Toastmasters develops 5 core competencies: public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and confidence. Confidence is unique because it cannot be taught, but is gained in every path. Toastmaster has developed, based in these 5 competencies, 11 paths. For example, dynamic leadership is about, first, public speaking, second, interpersonal communication, third, strategic leadership, and fourth, confidence. Effective coaching is about, first, public speaking, second, interpersonal communication, third, management, and fourth, confidence.
No.
Engaging humor is first about public speaking, and second is confidence. Innovative planning is first about public speaking, second is management, third is interpersonal communication, and fourth, confidence, and so on. So that way, with these 5 core competencies, Toastmaster has designed 11 different paths so you can choose one that fits to your goals and your needs. Let's go back to the website, Toastmaster website. Now we have to go to the process of choosing which path you are going to take. So let's go to choose a path. The first question you'll have is, how would you like to access your materials? You still see the traditional printed materials studies, but now we're gonna use the online system, which is, it says obtain digital resource online. Let's do that. Obtain digital resource online. Again, we have two options. How would you like to select your learning path? We have two options again. View all path options. The first option, in this case, you have to read each path one by one, and according to that reading, you're gonna choose the path you want to take according to your needs and your objectives. In the second case, take an online assessment. What is gonna happen is you're gonna receive a list of questions from Toastmasters, and according to your answers, Toastmasters is gonna recommend or suggest you which path is the best for you. Let's see about view all path options. Again, we have here 11 paths, like you see here, 6 paths here and 5 more here. They are 11 paths. Let's see about the first one. It says presentation mastery, just as an example. Presentation mastery, it says build your skills as a accomplished public speaker. You need to read more about this path. Then you have to click the plus sign that says learn more about the presentation mastery path. And here you will read a brief description of presentation mastery. It says this path helps you build your skills as an accomplished public speaker. You will work through projects that focus on learning how to gauge audience response and improve your connection with audience members. In this way, you're gonna read for every path a brief description of that. And again, according to that description, you will choose the path that you need in your goals. Now, every path, like university, in the university you have 5 years or 10 semesters. In the same way, Toastmaster is divided in 5 levels, and each level is composed of projects or courses. Let's see the projects in the presentation mastery path. Here you see this path called presentation mastery has 5 levels. The first level is called mastering fundamentals. Mastering fundamentals is composed of 3 projects. The first project is the icebreaker, the second is evaluation and feedback, and the third is researching and presenting. Every project is developed in speeches. You can repeat your speech as many times as until you feel that you are good in that project and you can go to the next project. This way you finish the first level, the second level. The first 2 levels are the same for all the 11 paths. All the 11 paths have to take the same projects of the first and second level. In the third level, you start taking projects oriented to your path you have chosen. In this case, the third level, called increasing knowledge, it has a required or mandatory project called persuasive speaking. But also, starting the third level, you have elective projects. From this list, you have to choose 2 elective projects to finish your third level. In the fourth level, the same thing. You have 1 required project, and you have to choose one elective project. And the 5th level is the same thing. So this is the way you develop your path. This brief explanation of pathway is for you, is to encourage you and invite you to start using pathway. And so you can achieve your goals as a public speaker and as a leader. And don't forget, let's celebrate this month as Independence Month, celebrating United States and Peru Independence Day. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ciro. Well, really, I remember when we heard about pathways, and for the very first moment, for all of us, for sure, it was like a monster, like a cuckoo for us. But then, really, we understood, we saw that talking about pathways is really helpful and is a nice tool which teaches us many things that we are looking for when I decided to become a Toastmaster. Well, yeah, just thank you for present really the pathways in a very friendly way. So then our third speaker is going to be presented by the third evaluator. And please, Ernesto Pai, you can.
Hello, yes. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Yes, Pathways is an excellent training tool. I'm very surprised to receive the evaluation form in digital. It has to do a lot with what we are living with this social distancing, you know, the digital transformation. Today, Zach Rikra is going to do his second speech titled How the Language Changed the Way We Think. This is for 5 to 7 minutes, and basically in this speech he will try to demonstrate that he has applied the feedback received on his first speech. I will try to evaluate 3 things on him: in which he excels, in which he needs to work on, and in which things he must challenge him. Zach is an entrepreneur. He loves financing, so if you need money, you know who to call. Please welcome with a nice applause our dear Toastmaster, Zach Rikla.
Okay. Ayinyachu, wie geht es dir? Hoe gaat het met jou? Kom stay. Jak shimas. Whole language shape the way we think. Well, if I was speaking many languages, it's because I can. So according Kahneman, he said that the language is the action that we build our own story. How is that? What I am doing now is making sound with my mouth. As I am exhaling, I'm making tones and hisses and puffs, and that action creates air vibration. That air vibration hitting your eardrums. And then that air vibration travel to the air and was transformed with your brain into thoughts. What did it mean? Everything that we are listening or hearing is create something in our system. This ability that we, like humans, are able to transmit ideas across vast reaches of space and time. Well, you know that whole the world, we can find more than 7,000 languages around the world. Well, for that reason, many years ago, Charlemagne, a great imperator, said, the second language is very same that have a second soul. Well, for talking to you more about that, I want to tell you something about an Aboriginal community in Australia. This is named Cook-Tire. Cook-Tire is a community in Australia that in their language, they don't use left and right. No, they use cardinal direction, east, west, south, and north. What it means? When you find someone in the middle of the path, a Cook-Tire people, and you ask them, how are you, or what are you doing? Their answer is, well, I am west north to the something, to the mountain. So it means that everything that they are communicate through their language is related to the cardinal direction. So we could understand maybe that, for example, I have some picture that I want to show you. Sure. Yeah. This one. Yeah. This is the several pictures of someone. Okay. If I ask you to put order related to the age, surely you put in order to left to the right, okay? But if you make this question to that Cook-Tire people, they don't use that direction. So it's not related to the Cook-Tire. Is if you ask that question to, for example, some people who live in Asia continent, like in the people put order to this picture to the right to left, because it's the way that they read. So what I mean is every action is related to the way what we think, what we understand. So I have one phrases for that is, around the world, everyone thinks different yet, but it's not exactly because we are different. It means that we think different, and if we understand to the whole people in the world, maybe we can change the way we think. So pay attention, because exists different way to understand the world. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Zach. What interesting topic, but really, you scare me, because at the beginning, I couldn't understand anything, and I thought that I was really bad. My ears are bad, but thankfully, no, they are right. So, thank you. So, as I said before, we had 3 great speakers with 3 wonderful topics. So, and continue with that part of this session, we need to listen to some reports. So first, I'm going to call to our timekeeper for the time report. So Doris, do you have?
Well, something is here. Wow. Okay. Okay, something's not good here. Okay. Well, here we are with the table topics. The first one was Ruben Garcia. His time was 1 minute and 50 seconds. The second one, Dagmara Elminovska, 1 minute 40 seconds. The third one, Yon Navarro, 1 minute 10 seconds. The fourth one, Ernesto Pai, 1 minute. The fifth one, Patricia Rosenvit, 1 minute 57 seconds. The sixth one, Vikram, 1 minute 45 seconds. The last one, Ivan Claudette, 1 minute 27 seconds. Going to our speakers. The first speaker, Alexandra Salazar, was allotted to talk from 5 minutes to 7, and her time was 5 minutes 25 seconds. The second speaker, Ciro Vendesu, his allotted time was from 5 to 7 minutes, and he spoke 10 minutes 10 seconds. The third one, Zach Rikra, had his allotted time was from 5 to 7 minutes too, and his time was 6 minutes 45 seconds. That is all for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doris. Thank you. Then another report is in charge of Soledad Olazo, the accountant, please. Accountant report.
Here I am, Madam Toastmaster. I just checked the grants made by the speakers. In this occasion, the first speaker, Alejandra Salazar, he said, among the grounds, he said, once, and well, just repeated the word well, but nothing else, nothing else. And the second case, Ciro Vendesu, as a speaker, he made the following grounds. Twice, 4 times, and he repeated words like so, the, 1 and 2 times. In the third place, Zach Rikra, Zach made several grounds like 13 times, 4 times, and he repeated words like well 4 times and so 4 times. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Soledad. So to avoid maybe these kind of sounds, unnecessary sounds, we need more rehearsal. It's something that we all have to make. So Jim, the evaluators, do you have your reports, please? The first one, Jim Plunkett, please.
I think Soledad wanted to say something. Sole, you want to say something?
Yes, I would like to suggest to the speakers for next sessions to record using those recorders, voice recorders, to record a session, a video, and this is going to help you to know how you use the language and the grants, unnecessary grants, they have to be disappeared from your speech. So this is a good way, it would be a way to notice what you are really doing on stage in front of the auditorium. That's it.
Thank you,
Yes.
Soledad. A good suggestion. Good
It's
suggestion.
a very good suggestion because I noticed that the quality of the recording is very good and it can help you a lot. Very good. As far as the first speaker was concerned, Alejandra Salazar. As I said when I introduced her, that she was to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. She did well. The title was Women's Fight Only, or Men Too. And I was quite concerned and frightened at the beginning, and especially since I'm gay. No, I didn't. No, I'm not gay, am I? But anyhow, Alejandra, your opening was good. You proposed a question, and that was good. You got it started well. You posed some questions. You had good gestures. You had good eye contact. Your subject was well chosen. It was controversial, and that's good. You gave us good examples during the speech. You were convincing. But I want you to slow down a bit. You have a tendency, and it's usually due to nervousness, to speed up a bit. So slow down. Also, the biggest error that I found was that you read the speech. I could see your eyes. I could see that you were reading.
Right.
And that is part of Toastmasters, the read speech. I remember from the old days, and it was something that everybody feared because your eyes get stuck usually on your reading material and you get distracted from concentrating on your audience with your eye contact. And so even though it wasn't extremely noticeable, but it was obvious that you were reading. And this is not a read speech project. So you're going to, and not only that, but you don't really have to read it because you were convinced on the subject. You wanted to give us this particular, so because you really felt serious about it. And there was really no reason to read this speech. Perhaps you want to practice a little more, but you have to look into that camera and look us right in the eye and convince us. But otherwise, I thought it was a great speech and I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, James. So, the second evaluator, Mr. Paolo Carranza. Do you have your report?
Yes, ma'am, Toastmasters, and thank you for the opportunity to work by evaluating Ciro Bendesu. Ciro, it was a pleasure to hear your speech. I think Pathways is one of the things that I have found really interesting so far since I rejoined Toastmasters. And it was something rather not easy to understand for me at the beginning. And you managed to make the topic a little bit more intelligible, more to help us understand what was it about. So you got a good opening, although you could use your voice for that a little bit more, try to have a stronger accent there. Well, then you went to the pathways topic, you started explaining, then you got a little section of how to, and an unexpected closing that I think would have been beneficial for you to use your vocal variety there. It would have been very, very good to work on that for the next one. Okay, one of the things that I heard from your previous speech was the use of of the internet and your computer. I think it didn't go well the previous time, but now it worked flawlessly. So congratulations on that. Another thing, the topic was interesting, but there are ways that you can make it even more compelling. I'm pretty sure you can apply this. Even though your voice is intelligible, it's pleasant. I think you have like an ASMR voice, but you could benefit from not reading your speech and applying more vocal variety. I'm pretty sure that one of the things that you could do is to incorporate stories, because the stories try to get you to speak, to make voices, to change your tone. It would be a very good way a very good thing to incorporate in your speech. The eye contact, once again, you could have done better on that aspect by not reading what you were trying to explain. You know what I mean? Then the gestures, I almost thought that you weren't using gestures, but then I noticed that right below in the lower part of your screen, we could see some hand movement. But since the camera was very close to your face, we couldn't see that much of it. Anyway, all in all, I think it was a good speech. You could have made it more compelling. But if you apply those suggestions, I think on your third speech, we will be amazed. Thank you, Man Toastmaster.
Thank you, Paolo. Thank you. So it's time. Ernesto Pai, our third evaluator. Do you have?
Who understood what Zach was saying at the beginning?
Nobody.
One person, Dagmara. He was speaking in Polish. That's what she told me at least.
The German.
That's what she told me at least. Very good, Zach. It was very excellent way to do an opening to get everyone's attention. I think you excelled in that part of your speech. For a moment, I said, well, his English is so poor, but I remember you speak well, so what is going on? Good, I liked it, and I think you caught everyone's attention, and then you went on. The organization, the topic was very, very interesting. I think you need to work a little bit on something which is very simple, the lightning. It's a very common mistake. I have a dark room and I just put a light on to improve it, but your window is in your back, okay? So when your window is in your back, your face doesn't show properly in the screen. You have to have the window, you have to face the window so that the light of the window shows on your face, and that works nicer on the screen, and your eye contact or your body movement are perceived better by everyone. You know, it's something very simple that you can try. Maybe change your computer layout in your house and put it towards the window. It will be much better for this type of Zoom presentations. Okay, it's totally different in person, but we have Zoom for a while at least. And something that you really have to challenge yourself was the closing. Maybe my expectations were a little high with the opening, which was very good, excellent, you know, but the closing was kind of soft, and you could have gone to a stronger closing, you know, with a stronger tone of voice, because you reduce the tone of voice about the language, and you could have emphasized that closing, and you don't have to give thanks to everyone. On the contrary, we thank you for your delivery. Just pass on to the Toastmaster. All in all, I really enjoyed your speech very much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Pye. Well, all your participation are really great. Now it's time to listen to our master evaluator, Andrew Bennett. Please, Andrew, how do you think about our session?
Toastmaster Norca, I would like every member of Lima Toastmasters this evening to unmute. I'm going to count to 3 and you are going to cheer and give yourselves great applause. And as you do, I am going to raise my silver hat to you. You have earned the silver hat with your meeting tonight. 1, 2, 3, cheer, applaud. Come on, let's hear it. I can hear you. There you go, you've earned it. This is your reward for an excellent meeting this evening. I'm most impressed. Respect, integrity, and service. My expectations of your meeting were already high because I received an email, and in that email there was a copy of the agenda, as it was at that time. And those were the qualities that were outlined. Respect, integrity, and service make for excellence. What better slogan for Lima Toastmasters this year as you go towards your 60th year? You're going to be celebrating, there are going to be parties. You are in fine form as a club. Meet and greet this evening was handled by Elsa Davila, and Toastmaster Elsa had a lovely, welcoming, relaxed presence. There was good conversation, I found, before the start of the meeting. You're creating the atmosphere it's good for the guests to come into. President Carlos brought us the opening of the meeting and the business meeting, and he mentioned learning and having fun, key things in our Toastmasters pathway. We also celebrated your very special long-time member, James Plunkett. It was good to hear that being done this evening. With the business meeting, I was pleased to hear from many of the officers, and there was a mention of the link with Rotary Club. Yes, a recommendation to you, do pursue the Rotary Club link. We had a youth leadership program here in London just a little while ago with Rotary Club Youth Speaks, and that was a great success. Let's build up this contact between Rotary and Toastmasters. I know that headquarters are very keen on it. Toastmaster was Norca Munoz, and I love the warmth that she brings to us as a first-time Toastmaster on Zoom this evening. Well done to Norca. I think the real triumph for Norca this evening was when Elsa stepped onto the stage to speak and she said, "You make me feel so special." That is the ideal Toastmasters evaluation. You made me feel so special that when I walked into the speaking space, wow, I was ready to deliver. So that was a triumph. A little recommendation for us all as members of the club would be to be careful of camera angles as we're speaking. Sometimes, for instance, people are leaning in and I'm getting just their heads. I would like to see the top of the body. I would like good posture. Good posture brings good breathing. Good breathing brings good speaking. So I would like to see just a little bit better posture in general on the camera angles for us. A little thought for you all as club members this evening. Our table topics master then was Elsa Davila with props. Now, I love having props in table topics because if people are nervous of speaking, they tend to focus on the prop and not their worries about speaking inside. So that's a great way of creating flow. What we want in impromptu speaking for our club members is flow, a sense of direction in their speaking. So let's keep up this rather nice manner of handling table topics. I learned this evening that Table Topics Evaluator seems to be a new role to your club. That's a good thing. Every ounce of speaking in the Toastmasters meeting should be evaluated. This is our learning apparatus, the evaluation feedback. So I was very pleased that Elsa stepped up to undertake this, and also that Alexandra came forward, Toastmaster Alexandra, to evaluate for us. Little comment for us all about vocal variety. And here I'm putting my qualified voice coach and public speaking teacher hat on for you. Vocal variety is not a specific term. It's a term for a group of aspects of voice variety. So are we looking for our speakers to improve pitch or pace or volume?
Yeah, you're on mute, Andrew. You're on mute.
On purpose? No.
There I am, I'm back with you. Sorry, I lost the screen as well for some reason at one point. But what I would really love for you is to be specific by choosing maybe one or two words that the speaker said and demonstrating how they can improve vocal variety. Demonstration is good. And let's use vocal variety not in its blanket term, but let's go for pitch, volume, pace. Give some indication of what we're truly looking for. Evaluator number 1 was James Plunkett for Alejandra. Very clear direction of objectives delivered in this. Excellent listening skills and comments on how to use notes when reading or avoiding reading for a prepared speech. Could I encourage the whole club to practice third-person evaluation? By which I mean, we don't say you. We say either Alejandra or we say she. But we avoid you. This is quite long-term Toastmasters practice because we don't target the speaker with a you. You is a little bit too informal, I feel. Maybe Alejandra or she, and that applies to every evaluation this evening. Let's try to avoid you and go for third-person evaluation. Paolo came to be evaluator number 2 for Ciro's speech for us. Paolo's manner of evaluation is very good. His recommendations are presented in a very non-judgmental way. And he also recalled the use of internet in a former speech of Ciro's. And that was important. Let's remember as club members that we're watching each other progress from week to week. So if you can remember what the speaker did the last time and you see their improvement this time, yes, by all means, please point it out. That was a great way to approach the evaluation. Ernesto came and he gave us the third evaluation of the evening. And there was a use of question to engage us straight away. Who understood then the beginning of the speech? Very good approach. There was a comment on lighting, and I think this is important in our online meetings too. As a general rule for our evaluators, can I encourage you to match the energy level and the subject of your speaker? I think this is a very useful way of handling evaluation, to match energy levels and to keep the flow going, so that in fact you become, as an evaluator, practically an integral part of the speech. Your evaluation emerges from the speech, and I think that makes something very special in our meeting. Timer today and also secretary giving a report, Doris Romero. I was very pleased in the secretary report that Doris welcomed back past members who were joining the club again. I think that's a very warm and good thing to do. And also that Doris called to order at the end of table topics. Now, point of order for the whole club, we are all respected, really. I would say we are all involved in the timekeeping of the meeting. That is our goal. We do this collectively. But if you are in the timekeeper role and you need to call a halt to things, do as Doris did. She did it very politely and she did it very well. Grammarian is James Plunkett, and he is being watchful of our language, and we haven't quite yet had his report, have we? But we will do. Can I encourage the whole club to avoid the word criticism? Now, I know criticism can mean literary criticism, for instance. It can be applied in many ways, but let's avoid criticism. At Toastmasters, we say recommendation or advice, because that offers a solution and the freedom to choose to accept the advice for the speaker. So I think it's better for our ethos if we avoid the word criticism altogether if we can. Our counter is Soledad Orazao, and we learn by doing. So well done to Soledad for stepping up to the role. And she said to us this evening, she said, I need to practice. That was really refreshing to hear that coming through in the meeting. Well done to Soledad for stepping up to the role. Recommendation to the whole club, make sure we sign up on the club website for the roles in advance of the meetings if we can. And There's always lots to do in our Toastmasters meeting. Come on, let's get on the website after this meeting and sign up for several roles in advance. I'm sure the Toastmasters will be very grateful for that. I'm encouraging every single member of Lima Toastmasters to look at their public speaking skills and leadership skills, to consider where they are going this year, in the coming year of Toastmasters.
Your microphone.
Andrew, your mic is off. Andrew, your mic is off.
Yes, I'm sorry, I've had a connection problem here all evening, but it's been great to follow your meeting. Your club is a precious resource, and please bring to it all your creativity and all your energy, and support your president and the new committee. Our founder, Ralph Smedley, said, "There's no learning without pleasure." Well, I've learned one thing this evening. With Lima Toastmasters, you can always count on a lot of joy. Go to it, Toastmasters. Have a fabulous year.
Thank you, Andrew, for your words. Your suggestion and recommendation are really valuable for all of us. And I have to say, so sorry, Jim, so sorry. I missed your report, so time to listen to you, to your reports as a grammarian. So please.
Thank you very much, Norca. I picked up a few things. I am very exciting. No, I'm very excited. This will ensure. Repetitive words, repeated words. A warmest welcome, a warm welcome. Now this is the most common error that the native Spanish speakers make, and I pointed it out every week. They put an E before the S words in English. For example, I am studying, I heard studying. They're going to give speeches. No, they're going to give speeches. A very brief pause before the S word and eliminate the E. I apologize myself. No, I apologize. The cover referred to the face mask and the shield, I guess. I would like to call to. No, I would like to call on, or I'd like to call upon so-and-so to give their speech. Ice creams. The word cream is a collective noun, and therefore you say ice cream. You don't say creams. Control remote. That's from the Spanish. Control remoto. No, it's remote control. This topic table. Again, that's from the Spanish. This table topic. Pronunciation. Cultural theme. No, cultural theme. Innovative. No, innovative. Innovative. Going to do his speech. He's going to carry out his speech, or he's going to give his speech. Many language. Many languages. People who is. People who are. People is plural. We think different. We think differently. The adverb. It's how we think. We think differently. That is it, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, James. Thank you. So we are almost ending, but we need to know about the winners of this session. So, Mr. Ernesto Pal,
Yes,
the vote.
we have a lot of winners today, and Carlos is going to issue a special diplomas for each winner, okay? And the best topic, we had a triple tie.
Wow.
Three people tie. And congratulations to Ruben, Dagmara, and the little boy Bikram.
Bikram.
Congratulations, congratulations. If AP Macintosh opens the screen, I will have a nice picture because I have everyone's face now, but otherwise it will be nice, but he's not hearing me apparently. The best evaluator, Paolo Carranza. Congratulations, Paolo. And the best speaker of the day, Zach Rickraft. Congratulations, Zach. And please smile. Wait. But Agmara just put me a, okay. Now smile. Now smile. Okay. Okay. You can see it in Facebook. Thank you,
Okay.
Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you, Ernesto. So we have, what happened?
We have
We have here the
best
Diploma.
table topic speakers. Congratulations, Ruben, Dagmara, and Vikram from Lima Toastmasters. Then we have our best speaker, and definitely we have our best evaluator. But most of all, we also have the best performance of the day, Doris Romero and Soledad Olazo for their greatest contribution of today.
Oh, thank
A round
you.
welcome
Very
applause.
Thank you. Thank you. As I said before, we have really, we will have a great session, and we did, and we did. So, Mr. President, we almost end this session, so you can close. I invite you to close the session today.
Mr. President, if you permit me 1 second, Norca will back me up as far as the dues. What is the date, Norca? Are people up to date with their dues? Because June 30th was critical.
Okay. Yeah, you are right. The dues, as you know, I informed this before. Toastmasters International extended our dues until June 30th. So we need to pay for be a member, active member. We need to pay since July to September, but for the whole semester, So, you know, everybody knows my bank accounts, so you can transfer the money and I can pay to Toastmasters International.
How much?
The dues are $60 for the semester.
No, but the balance will be $30 for those that have paid through March 31st, right?
Sorry, I couldn't listen to you.
In other words, some of us paid back on March 31st.
Yes.
But the rest did not pay.
Exactly. But we are, for example, we have now 18 members, current members, 18. So for people who already paid, for the members who don't pay until now, they have to pay $60 or 200 soles.
Right. Thank you, Norca. Yes, Mr. Plunkett. We all know that we are really coming along well in the number of members. We are open, but yet we are very close to keep our roster of 27 members. We are like 18, we still go for 2 more. Yet I would say that the team is working on improving quality programs, educational programs. That way, we'll ensure that people are really advancing and people are getting everything they are coming here for. We're working on that. And your board is making sure We want to make sure that you know that we are all working every week to ensure quality programs per session. Thank you. Well, now let's move on let's move on this, and I want to take some minutes to ask guests, and we have people that other people don't know. Let's have our dear Patricia back. Patricia, we welcome you back. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate it. I have been really busy and I miss you guys, but it seems that this quarantine is making us work more and have more presence in all the social media, and we have webinars, and it's a never-ending story. So today I wanted to see all you guys. I miss you dearly, and I congratulate you because it was a beautiful meeting. Norca, yourself, Elcita, you did a beautiful job. And it's always a Soledad, and it's always a pleasure, and Doris, and Alexandra, you know, that new role as a topic evaluator. I love it. So it's always a pleasure to see you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Let's call Julie. Julie, what's your opinion? How do you feel about the club today? We're open.
Well, as I said before, I'm really grateful that I was able to be here tonight as a guest, and thank you very much. You are a very supportive club, very supportive of each other, and I'm at the beginning of looking to join Toastmasters to improve my public speaking, but I felt very relaxed with you, and there was only Andrew, who I know here, but I felt very relaxed with you very quickly. And so thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Mike, how do you feel about this?
This meeting format was a little bit different than what I'm used to in my home club. I think primarily because we have an hour-long meeting format, so we have to have everything be so compressed in comparison, and don't have the opportunity for quite as much in the way of table topics as well as 3 speakers. I enjoyed the long format meeting. I liked the way that you managed to get so much business conducted and acknowledge prior meetings as well as the goals of officers. Really enjoyed the organization of the meeting, and it's something that I can learn from. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you. Let's see, Mari Rodriguez. Mari, very briefly, how do you feel about this today?
Hello, thank you. I think this is really challenging to achieve the level of fluency that most of you have. However, I take the challenge. I would like to keep participating. Yeah, I think it's going to be really rewarding. And then
So
when I get used to this kind of giving or delivering this kind of speech.
We're really glad you shared this with us today. What about Steve?
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. I also want to echo. Do I have an echo? Mike's comments about the longer format meeting, I think, is very well spoken. I like to see how you conducted your business, starting out the new Toastmasters year in the way that you have done shows a very high professional level. And the longer time gives people more time to participate. When we have a larger club like this, more members, actually this is pretty standard. I would think that's a good idea. Make that time count. Everybody feels like they can participate equally, and I really commend you for having this kind of organization and having your committees, the teams working together, I think is excellent. I have one request. I don't know if we can do this, but I heard a bird. Toda's bird. I want to see Tony's bird. I want to see a Peruvian bird.
Yeah, where was that bird? I think
is that possible? Is he still here?
Cito, did you have that bird in your backyard or something? No? Okay.
No, it wasn't. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. What
Thank
about
you, girls.
Tanya? What about Tanya? Tanya, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, well, I really like your speeches. I would like to thank Zero, Alejandra, and Zach. I was listening to your speeches. I'm doing other things because I work from 3 at 3, so but I was listening to you. Also, the evaluations that you made, I really enjoy it. Also, the table topic, I think it was innovative because you were showing some images, some pictures, some objects, and I really like it. Thank you.
Thanks to you. What about Ivan?
Oh, hello. Well, first of all, thanks to Mara for inviting me. And well, this evening, what can I say? I mean, I've been a member of Toastmasters for a number of years, and that was quite a few years back. And on 2 accounts, tonight was particularly a very pleasant experience. One is because, obviously, it felt a bit warmer being amongst fellow Peruvians, and so that was a refreshing change. And the other aspect of it is it reminded me of the mutually supportive spirit of Toastmasters, and that's something that I can remember, though I've never been outside of a Toastmasters club, other than in England, and so it's been a learning experience for me. So I want to thank you and congratulate you for the carrying out the true spirit of Toastmasters, and I can see that goes across multiple countries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Just to be honest, it wouldn't be possible without the great job of David Navarro, our membership vice president, Ciro Vendesu on education, public relations, Alexandra Kugler, treasurer, Norca, secretary Doris, and Sergeant at Arms Elsa. Those are the guys we should really recognize, because they are the ones that could be any moment heading and moving onto this transition. We do thank you all, and we hope to see you next week at the same place. Thank you so much, and it's my turn to declare this meeting adjourned.
Carlos, sorry to interrupt you guys again.
Please go ahead.
But we have a special event this Sunday at 11 o'clock Peru time, and with my team, we invited Luisa Montalvo, the first finalist in 2019, to share her secrets with us, how to become a champion. We also invited Lucina Vasquez, sharing her leadership experiences, and the event will be in Spanish. And if you still don't have a Zoom link, please contact me on Facebook or contact Carlos. They know my contact details. So let's meet on Sunday at 11, because it will be one time of unmissable event, fellow Toastmasters. See you there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, dear friends and fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for being here, and most welcome people. Hope to see you next. We declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy Independence Day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, happy Independence Day.
Happy 4th of July.
Yes.
Happy 4th of July. Okay.
Happy 4th of July, American friends.